Lincoln County's heart is calling you and me.
You're tuned into Lincoln County Living, a podcast for the people, by the people, where we keep it real, keep it local, and maybe even keep it a little awkward sometimes. I'm your host, Nicholas Hall, and today we've got a special episode featuring representatives from the Lincoln County Humane Society. We'll be talking about animal welfare, upcoming events, and the incredible work being done right here in our community. But before we dive in, a quick word from our sponsor. Every moment holds a story. Every vision deserves to be seen. And at The Squatch, we bring your story to life. We are your local solution for photography, videography, graphic design, and more. We capture the essence of every moment, whether it's the vibrant life at ground level or the breathtaking views from the skies above. We bring a fresh perspective to every project. Our passion is turning your vision into reality. With stunning visuals and compelling designs, we create content that tells your story, enhances your brand, and elevates your business. We are based in Lincoln County, serving New Mexico. Ready to see the world from a spectacular new perspective? Call us today at 575-686-0378 and book your session today. The Squatch Photography and Videography. See differently. Capture everything. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is that you're listening to this podcast. You're tuned in to the Lincoln County Living, the podcast for the people, by the people. I have some representatives with the Lincoln County Humane Society with me again today. I have Abel Guzman and I have Kidie Thornton once again. Thank you for coming back on, Kidie, and welcome in, Abel.
Good morning, good morning.
From what I understand, Abel got a promotion, correct?
I did. Yes, it's exciting and scary at the same time, but it altogether it's fun.
And for the audio listeners, what did you get promoted to?
I am the executive director now of the Humane Society of Lincoln County.
Okay. And what is the role of the executive director of the Humane Society?
Basically, I have to oversee the operations of both the resale shop and the Humane Society, the animal shelter, overlook the employees, the buildings, making sure that things are run smoothly at both buildings, and I'm in communication with the board. You know, I'm the guy in between the board and the employees. And also I become sort of the face of the Humane Society in a way, the avenue to our the public as well.
And how long have you been with Lincoln County Humane Society?
I have been with the Humane Society for 15 years, and it's been awesome 15 years. It's been a great experience, learned so much being a part of the Humane Society. Basically, before I was with the Humane Society, I worked for Ruidoso Animal Clinic under Dr. Willard at the time. He owned the business, and me and him would help in the spay neuter clinic. We would help with exams and shots that had to be done at the Humane Society. And so it really grew on me. You know, we would come every week and do the spay neuter clinic. We'd spay 10 to 15 animals a week. We'd help out with their shots. Anything that would come in emergency wise, they would send to us. We'd help in whatever way we could. And as time went on, the manager at the time had approached me because she was retiring. And so she had asked me if, would you want to take on this job? Because she had found out at the time, too, that Dr. Willard was going to sell his practice. So it was a perfect timing, for me to jump on this, something new. I had been with Dr. Willard for 10 years already. I learned so much through him in the medical part of animals. And so this was another opportunity for me to take a different avenue of helping animals. And so I took it and I ran with it. I started off as the shelter manager and just worked my way to becoming the executive director. And it's been an awesome road. It's been an awesome trip, just going from one thing to the next.
Well, it sounds like a well-deserved promotion to me, so.
Well, thank you. No, it's been great. It's been great, let me tell you.
Are you native to Ruidoso, or are you from here?
I guess you could say I am native. We moved here in 1990. I was 5 years old. We moved from El Paso, Texas. My parents moved up here, so I went to school here, grew up here. I got to know a lot of people growing up. My dad worked at the schools as a janitor, so a lot of people got to know him, and through him I knew people. And yeah, it's, so you could say I'm a native.
I would say so.
Yes.
100%. So I know that you guys have some programs coming up that you wanted to cover. And the first one we could talk about is World Spay Day. Can you remind me what day that is on?
So that's on February 25th, World Spay Day. This is a day where it's focused on spaying and neutering as many animals as possible. So this is something that's done worldwide.
Yes, I want to add it is a worldwide annual event. And we have participated now since 2020. And every year, they develop different mottos and stuff. This year is every pet, every life, spay and neuter for a better future. And it emphasizes the importance, like we talked about last time, of being a responsible pet owner and the positive impact of spay and neutering on the animal overpopulations that we have, but also on the individual health of the pet.
Very good. Very good. So, I mean, it's kind of obvious why it's crucial, but why do you think it's crucial for our community and pet owners?
Well, for our community in itself, we're a small community, and keeping the population of dogs and cats in check is really crucial, especially because of the way the town is. We're in the wilderness here, and so there's diseases that in other places they don't have. In the city, you're not going to get these different diseases that are around here. So controlling the population prevents other diseases from spreading. Also, it's a small community. We need to make sure that there's not unwanted kittens and dogs out there just roaming around. It's not good. It's not good. We got a wilderness that we need to take care of as well. We live in this area and we need to take care of it, and we need to do our due diligence also. But keeping the population down also helps the lives of dogs and cats. Unwanted dogs and cats, the more come in, unfortunately, the more have to be euthanized because of it. And here's Gia.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He is our ambassador. The Abel dog. She was adopted. And she has to make an appearance. She hasn't done TV yet. She's even done radio. But Abel was just talking about us being a small community. So I want to kick up some numbers to you to give you an impact on what we face every year. Last year in 2024, we rescued 1,065 animals. We adopted out 389. We returned to owner 194. And we were able to successfully transfer where they were accepted and adopted out to other humane organizations, 201 animals. So those are some pretty staggering numbers for our small community. And we face every year, this increase of not only just strays, unplanned litters, that now after all the devastation we have faced, as we talked about last time, owner surrenders as well.
Yeah, we've seen an uptake in animals coming in, especially after the fire. It's been tough. Right now, we have approximately about 65 to 70 dogs in our shelter, and so we're full. And usually at this time of the year, it's uncommon to see this. But because of the situation, what happened during the summer, we saw this uptake. And again, this is where programs like this, World Spay Neuter, come into play and help to make sure there's not unwanted pets coming into the shelter. It's so crucial. And not only for us, but in other communities as well.
Well, this past year, and just talking about just puppies, we had 6 litters in house. We had 8 litters surrendered to us, and so that was nearly 75 unplanned animals right there. And that could have stopped by responsible pet ownership and spay and neutering. So you get just the common strays that we have, plus owner surrenders, then you get that volume of puppies in here. It just puts us in a crisis situation. And we want to be able to, operate normally, go through the adoption process and not have to manage these crisis numbers. And unfortunately, we've been doing this, since summer, spring and summer. it just gets horrible around here because we have an annual event in August, and it's set up that way in August because everybody comes out of that spring and summer of, all these unspayed animals having, litters that, our numbers just increased drastically in August, and our numbers have not gone down since.
Yeah, it's been tough. It has been.
It sounds like it's been tough.
This is very important, and we do this every year based on the grant money. Abel works very hard. We actually have a team of board members that concentrate solely on grants. Being nonprofit, that is how, we fund ourselves, and what grant money we can get in to set aside for Spay Day, we do. We're offering free spay and neuter to Lincoln County residents, and it's 1 pet per household. Registration starts February 6th because we do have a limited number of spots available based on the money for us. Excuse me. And then surgeries would actually be on World Spay Day, which is Tuesday, the 25th. And with that being said, we've got to give a shout out to all of our local veterinarians because they partner with us. They donate their time and efforts. They know how critical this day is for us each year to perform as many spays and neuters as we can. And based on the numbers, this year it's going to keep, 700-800, unplanned puppies from coming back into our community.
Yeah. So this is an important program that we're doing, and again, like she said, shout out to the vets. Having that relationship with the vets is key. This is something that it involves a lot of people to get this program going. It involves the volunteers, the board members, staff here, the veterinarians, their crew, just for this one day. So we ask people, please take advantage of this. Please, it's free. Please come and do it, and they'll be making a difference in doing so.
Going back and touching on it, we have people, and I understand that they feel like, hey, don't tell me what to do with my dog. Get it. But let's get online, do the research, look at the statistics of the health and behavioral benefits that this surgery does. And the younger you do it, you can start around 6 months. The healthier and longer your pet is going to live. Look online, look at the research. So behavioral wise, cats, dogs don't roam as much. Dogs don't mark. Cats don't scratch and bite. It's known health wise to alleviate a lot of different type of cancers, urinary issues. And it's like I said, the younger you do it, it's really a simple procedure. Follow the instructions. It's just a couple of days recovery. Now, the one thing is, I know with my dog, is the cone of shame. They have to go home with the cone around their neck so that they give their bars time to recover. But everybody needs to realize, again, all of the health and behavioral benefits that will help them, their pet, their home, their lifestyle, their family. So we hope as many people will take advantage of this.
During the fall time, usually is when we see an uptake of puppies coming in. But we had so many male dogs, I'm going to be honest, this past year come in that were hit by cars during the season when the females were in heat. So this, again, advocating to what she said, it helps them not run away to go look for female. It keeps them in the yard. It saves their life. It really does.
It says all the time, and just touching on the fact that, this is taxpayers' money. We're on contract with, multiple local governments. And, unfortunately, it's not enough to pay everything because that's where grants come in to help supplement the cost. But for every stray animal that comes in here, unplanned litter, it costs taxpayers dollars to, help these animals. It's the right thing to do, but you want to help your community. You need to think of it in that aspect as well as just the humane application of all of this.
And just to give you an example, when an animal does come in, whether it's a puppy or an adult, from start to finish here at the Humane Society, it costs us over $350 per animal. So you could just imagine how much it'll cost us whenever we have all these litters coming in. You know, it's not cheap,
That's
especially nowadays with everything going up in price. So again, that's why, you know, having the support of the public, the grants, these contracts that we have, the donations that we get, it helps to continue these programs, helps us to care for these animals, find homes for them. But, you know, going back to that graph, only a handful of those animals actually that are strays come into our Humane Society. What do you think happens to the rest? Being that we live in a national forest, I can't tell you how many kittens, puppies come in that have been mauled by other animals, that come in that have been pecked by crows, that we see come in. So we don't want them to go through that. We don't want to be seeing that. So that's why, again, it's so important that owners take advantage of these programs that we have. This is just one of 2 programs that we have, and we're focusing on this one today, but please take advantage of what's out there to prevent all this from happening.
It's for free, and we realize that it's a certain timing, but reach out, get ready. Registration starts on February 6th. Now, you have to come to the shelter and register. It's a very simple, easy, quick process, and you get all the information, your actual time of surgery, etc.
Sounds like a really good program, and I think, you know, the benefit of it being free will help a lot of people, especially given that a lot of people are struggling after the fires and the floods. So it's kind of like a very good community initiative at that point. I know it's worldwide, but it's one of those things that I feel like it will definitely pan out.
Absolutely. And for some reason, if this timing doesn't work for you, we always still have a low-cost income qualifying program for spay and neuter. It's only $45. It's very easy. You come to the shelter, you pay your fee, you get a voucher, you can go to your personal vet. It's convenient because you can talk to your vet, schedule a day and time. Again, that's convenient for you. We also have a spay neuter TNR, which is trap, neuter, and release program for feral cats, because we have a huge problem of feral cats around here, you know, especially around town, midtown, around restaurants and things. And again, this is just a cycle of it. You know, you have someone that had a cat, it wasn't spayed and neutered, it got lost, it's in the wilderness. You know, these cats can accumulate communities, which we have a lot of them, especially even out in the downs, and they form a community. And yes, they are surviving, but the health of the community is typically very poor because they're not properly fed. They're scrounging, you know, they're inbreeding. And this program again is very simple. You come in, it's $30, pay. If you have a humane live trap, if not, we do. You trap, you take it to the vet, perform the surgery, and then you release it back into the community. And the longer that we do this, and these spayed and neutered animals go back into the community, then it stops that vicious breeding cycle.
I know you guys also want to talk about keeping animals safe in the colder weather. As we get into the colder months, what essential tips can you provide for pet owners to ensure their pets are safe and comfortable?
We don't want to be out in the cold whenever it's cold out there. They don't want to be out. If you're able to, bring your dogs in, or cats, whichever. If it's cold for us, it's cold for them. If you are unable to bring them in, have the proper shelter for them outside. If you need help, we can help with that. We have dog houses available for those who need it. We have straw for those who need it. Keeping the water that they need, you know, check on the water, make sure it doesn't get frozen. We had a puppy this last time that came right up our driveway up here at the Humane Society, limping on one foot. One foot was up, and come to find out that it was frozen. Its paw was frozen. So just imagine, they don't have shoes like we do. They don't have the protection like we do. So you got to think about those things. We just ask you, to be diligent and keep, if it's cold outside, they're going to be cold. So give them the proper shelter that they need is what we ask, really.
If you can, bring them in is the main thing.
That's our motto. If it's too cold for us, it's too cold for them. Try to bring them in. And even if just a little corner of the house, the laundry room, the bathroom, just for the night. But again, we have free dog houses that were built through Hondo and Ruidoso High School's career and technical classes. We are going to have those available. Anybody that's in need, if you will come to shelter, fill out a quick application, and then we'll try to assist you the best we can. Now, I sent you some DIYs that are easy to do, and a lot of these items are in your home right now. And, a few critical things about trying to provide shelter for your animal is it needs to be elevated off of the ground. It has to be elevated off of the ground. If it's not, it is not going to protect them and keep them warm. That is a photograph of just one of the many. I think we're going to have over 20 dog houses that were actually designed and built, again, by the high school students from Hondo and Ruidoso High School.
And all the visuals that I'm showing, I will definitely post them for the audio listeners, because I know a lot of people can't see this if they're listening in their cars.
Right.
But all the visuals that I'm showing, I will definitely post them.
I appreciate it. The other two photographs I sent you are just simple things at home. It was I couldn't capture him, or I would talk to him and follow him on Facebook, but it was an older gentleman that was asking for donations of old, unusable coolers because they're double-sided and already somewhat insulated. So he simply taped the lids shut. He drilled a hole in the side, and the kind of synthetic pipe wrap that we use each year to wipe around our pipes, he took that and just lined the hole because it did have a little bit of jagged edges in it. And then again, you can simply throw in straw or some bedding and put those out. And he was doing this for his community for all of the homeless feral cats. For as far as dog goes, you can get a large plastic bin with the lid. You turn it upside down where the lid is on the bottom. And again, it's very important to lift this off of the ground. And we have so many rocks in this area, flat rocks. I mean, if you don't have a board or an area, use some rocks, lift it up. We ask that you position it where the opening is away from the wind, under carport, under the house if you're elevated, but you just take a bin, turn it upside down, cut a simple hole in it, and you can fill it with straw. Again, we have free straw, any type of blankets. Now, the other thing about soft materials used, for bedding or insulation, it's very important to be sure it's not wet or damp because that can freeze. An animal lays on that and potentially hypothermia can set in. So we always ask that if you do that, take a quick check every day that if you're using a soft type of bedding, that it is dry. And as Abel said, food and water. If the animal stays outside, they are going to increase their food and water intake because they are trying to build more heat, which is using more of their body energy, and they're going to need more nutriments.
Yeah. And here at the resale shop, we have blankets for free for the animals. Anybody needs a blanket for their animal, come to the resale shop. We have everything people need to give their animals something comfortable. They just need to come and get it. That's all they need to do.
And we're here to help. We're not here to judge. We just want to help you with any of the supplies we have to help those outdoor animals stay safe.
Kidie, for those interested in supporting the Humane Society, what are some of the best ways they can get involved?
Volunteering is absolutely vital to our organization and really most organizations that are nonprofit. And as we discussed earlier, we've had such a constant flow and a high population volume here of animals, especially dogs, that we're always looking for volunteers to come in, especially walk dogs. People need to realize that these dogs spend 22 hours a day in their kennels. They're taken outside and given some fresh air, weather permitting, to clean the kennels. They go back in, and unless a volunteer comes by and takes them out for some more time, that is where they are. And due to the volume, it's just hard for staff to take care of all of their duties, do that. So that's the reason where we really depend on dog volunteers. But, it's very rewarding and healthy for a volunteer to come in. We have, so many ages and sizes and flavors of people that come in, and it's wonderful. And I really enjoy seeing some of the older folks and demographic coming in because, they're retired. It's winter. It's not a lot going on. And sometimes, based on the weather, you kind of get stuck home. You get lonely. You get stressed out. You're not moving and exercising. So it's just a great way, volunteering to get out, to help your community, to connect with your community. And there's health benefits for you. And they provide the most important thing for us, and that is helping our dogs find new homes. Like I said, these dogs are inside in their kennel too many hours a day. There's a lot of level of anxiety and stress with them, and allowing them to get out and just to be a dog, just to run around, sniff, and pee and poop outside, and just have human contact. It's just critical, and that humanization that comes along with volunteers is such a good skill set for these stray dogs, that they have lived on their own independently just around other animals. So they help us determine and define the personalities of these dogs so we can continue to work and improve those skills so they become a good adoptable pet. And it's just life-saving. It's life-saving. These volunteers that come in with the dogs is great. We've not had an uptake of cats like we had with dogs. Cat cuddling is always something else. You can come in. We have a room you can actually get the cat out in and let it, run around and play a little bit. Or at times the volunteers just come in and just open the cages and just stand and talk to them and, purr with them and go on. There's other duties around the shelter. If you're not you want to give back, but just not necessarily want to, interact with the animals. There's always things to do as far as other responsibilities in the shelter, laundry, got 65 kids back there, basically, constantly doing laundry, washing dishes, etc. And then, we have a beautiful resale shop here. They are vital to our organization. They provide nearly 60% of our operational budget. We have a wonderful staff here. Great items, gently used at a reasonable price. And so, again, the shelter isn't your deal, then come to the resale shop. You can always help sort clothes, fold clothes, clean shelves. I mean, there's always something to do. So we have a wonderful, committed community. They stood by us for many years, and they stepped up with us during the fire and devastation. Volunteers coming out and helping us. Part of our resale shop flooded. Just the local donations, donations coming in from, from our neighbors out of state. I mean, communities have been very, very strong with us. So, as far as volunteers go, it's so easy. Go to our website, hslcnm.org. Click on volunteer. All those different tabs will tell you where you need to go. Even if we have special events in town, if you'd like to volunteer, there's a volunteer application on there that you can quickly fill out online, submit it. You do have to come in and take an orientation based on the areas that you would like to volunteer in and complete that. And then it's fun, it's easy, and I promise you, a second will not go by that that you are not loved and appreciated and not going to be rewarded by what you give to the shelter.
No, definitely. Just to highlight just a little bit what she said, the days that we do not have volunteers that come in, we see the difference in attitude. It's a big difference. When the volunteers are there, they're so much happier, so much calmer. So volunteers is crucial in a shelter to make sure these animals don't go crazy, to be honest. So please, if you're able to volunteer, please do so.
It is. And there, a lot of these strays are probably in a better position than they were, but it still can be very heartbending here. They come into the shelter. They left the area where they were. It probably was horrible circumstances, but they're still going to a building. It's bright, it's loud. There's faces they don't know. They get in a room or in their kennel, and so it's just not a nice place to be to start off. So, like I said, our volunteers are so compassionate and come in and help relieve those animals of some of that stress and anxiety, teach them some skills, and mainly just give them love and respect, and give them the best opportunity they can to rehome.
The best way I could put it is when we go to the doctor, they put us in that room. We're waiting for the doctor to come in. We get antsy during that time period. Now imagine being in a room like that for 14 days before an animal gets adopted. So having volunteers helps out so much. It really does.
Yes. And I know my wife and I have actually started volunteering there due to my conversation with Kidie that we had beforehand. And so we've started coming in and helping too. So I could say from experience, it is crucial, and it is easy. Really, it is, to come in and just walk dogs for a couple hours. So we'll definitely keep doing that.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. We really do.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. So besides World Spay Day, are there any upcoming events or initiatives that you'd like our listeners to know about?
Well, we're, instead of going on a Valentine date, we're asking you to go on a Paul-Valentine's date. We are overrun with puppies right now. We have about 20 puppies. So on February 14th, we are offering for that day only a discount in adoption fee down to $60. And now remember that $60 includes typically a socialized, pretty much knows a lot of commands, leash trained, house trained, kennel trained animal. And it includes, spay and neuter, vaccines and microchip. But we're asking people to, especially those ladies out there, you're having a little hard time in love. Well, I'll tell you one thing, a dog or a puppy will love you unconditionally the rest of your life. So we're asking you to come in and take them for a walk here. Bring, instead of your lunch, bring a sack lunch and have a picnic with a pup, or come take a pup out to Midtown shopping. We all love to shop, especially the ladies on Valentine's Day. The merchants down there are wonderful. We visit a lot. They love for the dogs to come in and visit. So go to Midtown, or, if you're in a hiking group, come take a pup out on a hiking date. But think about that. And again, we're doing that special actually on Valentine's Day. But again, if you hear this message and feel motivated by it, come on in and volunteer now, or take a pup on a date this weekend would be great.
Yeah, and we have a lot of restaurants in town that are dog friendly. Mm-hmm. Take them out for lunch. That's something you could do.
Do you know the date of Pastel Paws? We have a event, I think it's the first Saturday in we have an annual event called Pastel Paws, and that is where it's an event at the resale shop. And we invite all the community, family, and kids to come in. Of course, always meet some of our adoptable dogs, and you get your picture taken with, what are we calling? Well, the Easter Bunny.
Easter Bunny, yeah.
The Easter Bunny.
Okay.
And that date is going to be April 12th. That's Saturday, April 12th. That's coming up.
Okay.
And again, for any of this information, follow us on Facebook. You can see some great videos, our animals, what's happening with us on Facebook, our website, hslcnm.org. We are working on some upcoming projects with ENMU. They have an indoor area there, that old mall shopping little area that they have taken over, that annex building. We're hoping to get permission from them to start doing some activities indoors, since, it's the weather's so unpredictable. Maybe to be able to have, some adoption events there that the weather, discourages us from doing outside now with them. We're even talking about a, potential pet health fair that you can come and bring your pet in for a visit and learn about all the great services, health issues we can help with or whatever there. And then hopefully we'll see you again sometime soon. And by then we will have the date for our annual Fur Ball event, which will be in July. That is our biggest fundraising event for the year. Last year, due to all the devastation, it was canceled. We had it this past November. And we want to give a shout out to everybody that rallied around us and came and helped our community, because we were able to donate proceeds back to the Community Foundation of Lincoln County from that event. However, we have to get back to business. That fundraiser fuels a lot of our operational budget. So that will be in July sometime. We'll keep you informed. But I can give you a little bit of teaser that this year's theme is going to be Hawaii Fido. Did that come? I know sometimes the way I say it did come out. So anyway, we're going to the islands, and we're going to have a good fun event.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be awesome.
So I will put the information to the Lincoln County Humane Society in the show notes, so everybody can find you there. That's going to include the phone number, the Facebook page, any way you want to get in touch with them. We're going to go ahead and start wrapping up today's episode, though. Abel and Kidie, are there any final thoughts or key messages you'd like to give the listeners?
Well, just we want to thank everybody. We do what we could do with the continued support of our community, our businesses, our volunteers, our merchants, our restaurants. And we really want to give a shout out to all the first responders, firefighters that came in here and not only helped us, but our community that is giving us a chance to re-steadfast ourselves and grow and move and push forward and look forward and not look back. But there's so many opportunities for anyone to get involved with us here at the Humane Society, at the shelter, resale some of our events. And one of the other programs that has really helped us out and has taken off here lately is our fostering program. This is something that helps us due to this overcrowdedness, dogs' anxiety levels, because the dogs stays have becoming a lot longer, is fostering. And that way it's not a long-term commitment. It could be just a couple of nights. It could be a weekend. It could be a week, is another way to show your love of animals and support in our community as far as fostering goes. And I want to give a very special thanks to our recent fosters. We've had 4 dogs, that have been in fostering. Every one of them have been adopted. That shows how important it is to get these dogs out, to get them in a home environment, to give them, the initial attention and skill set of making that transition, just the love, the human touch, etc. We also have another dog going into foster care. And again, these dogs have been here long stay. They've been with us for months. So we are looking forward to him having a great opportunity once he comes back as well. So special thanks to them and to you for always having us on. And Abel, what do you know?
In all honesty, everybody here at the Humane Society, including the animals, are grateful for the help that we get from the community. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without your support. So thank you. Appreciate it.
I speak on behalf of the community. I think we're all here and happy to help. And when you're talking about the fostering and the dogs that have been adopted, I do know that is Preston Marshall with No Dogs Left Behind. We really appreciate all the work he does as well and helps out the Humane Society.
Listen, I want to give a shout out to him because he took 2 of our very anxious and stressed dogs. And this is what happens, unfortunately, when they're with us too long, that we're becoming probably nearly unadoptable. He took them in up to his facility up in Capitan and spent some time with them. They both came back to us. One of them was adopted immediately. The other one still needed a little bit of time, went into the foster home, stayed, I think, nearly 2 weeks, transitioned back out, and within several days was adopted. So this, what he does, what the fosters do, anybody and everybody. I mean, this is what helps these dogs get the second chance they deserve, because it's, they're not strays, they're homeless, they're in that position because somehow, some way they were let down by a human.
Exactly.
Very good. Very good. So that's going to be a wrap on today's episode, though. I really do appreciate you guys coming on once again. I'm always happy to have you. And it was good to meet you today, Abel. First time ever getting to meet you. But again, thank you, Kidie, for coming on once again. And we will definitely have you on again in the near future before the other events happen. And again, I'm going to put all their information in the show notes, and you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook, iHeartRadio, Amazon Alexa. There's so many platforms you can listen to this podcast on, and I really encourage that you give us a follow or subscribe or whatever you need to do. But without further ado, I thank you guys again for coming on, and I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Lincoln County Living. A huge thank you to our guests from the Lincoln County Humane Society for sharing their time and insight with us. If you'd like to support their mission, check out the links in the show notes for more information. for volunteering, adoption, and upcoming events, make sure to follow Lincoln County Living on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook to stay connected with all things happening in our community. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep living it, Lincoln County.
Lincoln County, living, we're roaming free. Every town a treasure, every moment a spree. From the valleys to the mountains where the wild things be. Lincoln County.